Welcome to Area 2071, a research-driven metaverse podcast.
Hey everyone, it's George from Area 2071. Area 2071 is a project of Blockchain DXB. In this podcast series of Area 2071, we focus on Metaverse, everything related to Metaverse and NFT. This podcast primarily focuses on education, information, research and news about Metaverse across the globe. We will discuss some latest news, technological innovation and adoption of Metaverse. We will also discuss how cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology merges with Metaverse. Finally, we also focus on Dubai, UAE and Middle East in the world of Metaverse. So, let's kick this thing off. Hello fellow citizens from Metaverse, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 29th of July. Yesterday, since the announcement of the interest rate by Fed, the market has definitely gone up and Ethereum in particular has gone up to $1,700 and overall the cryptocurrency market has crossed the $1.10 trillion mark. And the cryptocurrency platforms that are linked to Metaverse, those have gone high as well. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about an update to the Metaverse Standards Forum, something we discussed little over a month ago. In case if you aren't a member, I would definitely recommend you to become a part of the Metaverse Standards Forum. It is completely free of cost. The next news that we'd like to talk about is the higher level committee for Metaverse. Dubai is making headlines so far as the Dubai Metaverse is concerned. Another update to Dubai Metaverse Strategy, and looks like Dubai will pretty much be the number one city in the region so far as Metaverse is concerned and top 10 city in the world so far as Metaverse is concerned. We're also going to be talking about an event that is taking place on the 19th of August called as Metaverse, the Hyped Reality and New World Order, and this is an event done by me. We'll also be looking at PESTLER analysis on Metaverse, that is political, economical, social, technological, legal, environmental, and religious analysis on Metaverse. And what I plan to do is I plan to release another standalone episode discussing all of these topics and their analysis on Metaverse. And we're also going to be looking at the top 5 Metaverse news from around the world and top 5 Metaverse news from Dubai and UAE. Today's episode, we're going to kickstart by looking at the price of cryptocurrencies that are linked to Metaverse platforms. So we'll be looking at the price of Apecoin, Decentraland, Sandbox, Axie Infinity and Theta Network. And over a period of time, these cryptocurrency platforms might change. I have this feeling that probably in the next 2 years or more, these cryptocurrency platforms may not even be in top 10, but let's try to see how it plays out. So welcome everyone, it's 18 you're in Dubai and you're listening to Metaverse Everything, where we solely focus on Metaverse. We cover top 5 Metaverse news from around the world and top 5 Metaverse news from Dubai. Metaverse Everything podcast is a research-driven podcast focusing on education and informational content about Metaverse and its impact. Also Monday to Thursdays, we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and Metaverse. And how the series under Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news and occasionally short and sweet news as well. This is followed by 2 news and information related to Dubai, UAE and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and Metaverse. Please check out the Crypto and Coffee at 8 Monday to Thursdays. So let's kickstart today's episode. Today is the 29th of July and to be honest, the market does look a lot better. Ever since Federal Reserve Board Chair Jerome Powell announced the interest rate, it looks like people are trying to buy cryptocurrencies. That has definitely had an impact on the cryptocurrency platforms that are linked to Metaverse. So the price of Apecoin is currently at $6.91 and since the last 24 hours it is up by 3.39% and since the last 7 days it is up by 2.10%. Decentraland or Mana is $1.01 and since the last 24 hours it is up by 8.14% and since the last 7 days, it is up by 6.39%. Now, what I tend to do is I publish the Metaverse Everything podcast every week, and I just looked at the decentralized Mana's price. Last week, it was much more than $1.01. So it looks like the price for decentralized Mana has actually gone down. The next is the price of the Sandbox Sand. It is currently at $1.37, and since the last 24 hours, it is up by 6.64%, and since the last 7 days, it is down by 2.19%. Axie Infinity has definitely been doing good. It is currently at $18.67, and since the last 24 hours, it is up by 14.54%, and since the last 7 days, up by 16.32%. Theta Network, that is Theta, is at $1.42, and since the last 24 hours, it is up by 12.63%, and since the last 7 days, it is up by 12.34%. Now guys, what I've been noticing is, especially during the weekends, the prices of cryptocurrency platforms have been going high, and I've been noticing this only since the last 1 month or so. Usually on Tuesdays and Wednesdays is when the price tends to go down. So if I were you and if I was really curious about the price, I would definitely be keeping an eye on the price on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. The market cap of cryptocurrency platforms linked to Metaverse is also up by $1 billion. As of 29th of July, it is $14 odd billion. And the 24-hour trading volume is up by more than 45%. As a matter of fact, it is up by 49.43%, almost 50%, and it is currently at $3 billion. Last week, the 24-hour trading volume was around $2 billion. Now, since you have looked at the price, let's start the episode with the news from the OG of Metaverse. The OG of Metaverse, Neil Stephenson, who had written the science fiction novel Snow Crash, and he is the guy who actually termed the word Metaverse, is in some news, and he is building a blockchain to uplift creators. So Neil Stephenson is teaming up with venture capitalist and Bitcoin Foundation co-founder Peter Wessinis in a project to build a new Metaverse-first Layer 1 blockchain network. The project is called Lamina 1, and Lamina 1 stands for Layer 1. Now Neil Stephenson is the guy who termed the word Metaverse, and he also termed the word Avatar. So it's definitely great to have him in the news. And in Dubai, when they have the Metaverse Assembly, they're planning to have world-class speakers. I am pretty much sure that Neil Stephenson will definitely be at that event. Along with him, I'm hoping Matthew Ball, who's one of the OGs of Metaverse, will also be at that event. The next news is from Far East in Japan. The University of Tokyo will offer a series of engineering courses using Metaverse technology. This is definitely great. That being said, I do feel that they are way too early, as the technology that they will be learning now may be obsolete by the time Metaverse is mainstream, maybe in a few years from now, but again shows a great willingness from the university to go ahead and accept new technology and be part of it. These courses in the Metaverse won't confer degrees, so what they will do is they will be set up by the engineering faculty of the university and will have two goals. The first goal is to introduce high school students to the possible career paths they can take at University of Tokyo related to engineering and information science field. The second goal is to address the shortage of personnel capable of handling digital tools and new technologies in these academic environments. Definitely great news from the University of Tokyo. It is unclear at this point of time as to which platform they would be using, but based on the announcement on the website, it says that the University of Tokyo will make an effort to recruit women for these courses due to the low level of participation the demographic has in engineering courses. So I'm pretty much sure other countries will be incorporating a similar syllabus and similar courses as well. Let's move on to next news about the Metaverse Standards Forum. Now, I did cover about Metaverse Standards Forum a couple of weeks ago. I think it was around the 2nd or 3rd week of June. That time there was this massive fake news that Apple and some of the top companies were not part of Metaverse. Definitely not true. As a matter of fact, the Metaverse Standards Forum is completely free for absolutely anyone to join. Now, they did have an event on the 20th of July, and the presentation is on the website. So go through the Metaverse Standards Forum. The presentation is completely free of cost. So what I'll do is I'll just try to give a quick recap on what that presentation was. and this was the second presentation by the Metaverse Standards Forum. So essentially, the PowerPoint slide talks about a recap of the forum structure, the membership update and domain process, and they discuss about the domain selection process, the domain working group, the startup process, the standards registry, a lot of discussion, and they also talked about what they are going to be discussing in the next meeting. Once you become a member, you will be getting access to all of these information. And in the second presentation, they talked about the details of the forum organization, the classic bumps on benches, that is who, where, when, what, why was the forum created. And as of today, there are over 1,000 members. They started off, I believe, with over 400 odd members, but right now they have 1,000 members in the Metaverse Standards Forum, 430 principals, and 685 participants. Again, guys, if you are into Metaverse, I would definitely recommend you to go ahead and register for it. It is completely free of cost. They're also planning to develop a standard developing organization, and once you are a part of it, there is a portal where you get to know each other, so you might be connected with other Metaverse startups and technological companies. On the presentation, they also talk about domain prioritization process, standard registry, and quite a lot more. Again, this is just the beginning step. Imagine in just 2 weeks, they have done so much. I'm pretty much sure as time goes by, Metaverse Standards Forum might be a standard that many startups will be looking at and will be following it. The next news that I'd like to talk about is kind of an update to the Dubai Metaverse Strategy. So the Dubai government is deciding to have a higher committee for future technology and digital economy formed in Dubai. This would cover all the digital economies, blockchain, and keen focus on Metaverse too. And they're focusing on designing policies and analyzing trends, supervise and implement what is going on in Metaverse, identify future skills in Metaverse, and follow up on economic performance and attract international companies. What I would really recommend you guys to do is, in order to find out more about the higher committee, I did write a blog on the 26th of this month and I've released a podcast. So I would really recommend you guys to go ahead and listen to the entire podcast. Also, I released a standalone episode on the Dubai Metaverse Strategy. So please go ahead and listen to the Dubai Metaverse Strategy, because in the Dubai Metaverse Strategy, I talked about how the strategy was introduced and what is VARA, that is Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, where they are located, and how does Binance play a part in Dubai Metaverse Strategy. I also talked about Dubai Metaverse Assembly, that is having an event on the 28th and 29th of September. So listen to the episode called as Dubai Metaverse Strategy. And in case if you guys do have any questions, you're more than happy to drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. But at a macro level, the Dubai government has formed a higher committee for future technology and digital economy. Definitely brilliant move. And one thing which I keep saying, when the world is taking one step, Dubai government is literally taking 10 steps ahead. So Dubai's ambition is to be the number one city in the region so far as Metaverse is concerned, and the top 10 city in the world. And with initiatives such as this, I definitely think this would be easily possible. The next news that I'd like to talk about is an event which is taking place on the 19th of August. The event is completely free of cost from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Gulf Standard Time. The event is called as Metaverse Event, The Hype, Reality, and New World Order. The session will be broken down into 3 parts, that is Part A, Part B, Part C. What I would recommend you to do is go to eventbrite.com and type in blockchain DXB. You will definitely get all that information. And I talked about this event, I believe it was on the 25th or 26th of this month. Please feel free to go ahead and listen to that episode. The session, which takes place on the 19th of August, is going to be broken down into 3 parts. In Part A, we're going to be talking about the history of Metaverse, what is Metaverse, the hype of Metaverse, the hardware and software that is needed in Metaverse. In Part B, we're going to be talking about areas where Metaverse merges with the physical world. We'll also talk about the news and events surrounding Metaverse. We will also talk about if blockchain is needed in the Metaverse. And we'll discuss the different types of blockchain, that is centralized blockchain. And we'll also talk about, can central bank digital currencies be a better option in the Metaverse? We'll also talk about some top Metaverse platforms, the limitations of blockchain, and the role of NFT in Metaverse. And in Part C is where we talk about the whole Dubai Metaverse Strategy, the Dubai Metaverse Assembly, and I'll also talk about the higher committee, which was recently announced by the Dubai government. Now, in case if you want to be a part of it, you're more than welcome to drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb. Another update to Blockchain DXB is I plan to release a standalone episode, and that would be on PESTLER analysis on Metaverse. What is PESTLER analysis? PESTLER analysis is a tool used to gain a macro level picture of an industry environment. So the acronym PESTLER stands for political, economical, social, technological, legal, environmental, and religious factors. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a thorough analysis keeping these points in mind on Metaverse. So under political, I'll be discussing how politics or lack thereof impacts the state of Metaverse, the difference of political opinions on Metaverse. Under economical factors, I will be talking about how a new economy can be formed. And I also would like to ask you this question. In the near future, possibly in the next coming decades, will the Metaverse economy be bigger than the real world? So I'll be exploring that in detail in that episode. Under social, I'll be talking about the transformational change in the presence of social media. The biggest change in the Metaverse will be the Web3, where users own the content. I would also discuss hybrid Metaverse versus a distributed or decentralized Metaverse, where users are in ownership of their content. Regarding technological factors on Metaverse, we will be discussing the hardware devices, the software devices, the virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality that is in the Metaverse, the importance of 3D and hologram in the Metaverse, and semiconductor on how it would make or break a country's stand in the Metaverse. And we'll also discuss the impact of the technology that is 5G and 6G internet connection on Metaverse and neuro devices, how that's going to impact Metaverse. So it's going to be an action-packed episode. Under legal factors, I'm going to be discussing the legal aspects and the rights one would have in the Metaverse, the strategies, the associations, the forums, and what is it that governments can do to support Metaverse so far as the legal jurisdiction is concerned. Regulations are definitely needed to protect investors and individuals. Regulations do provide clarity. Now, what I definitely think that regulations are needed as long as they protect investors and individuals, and they need to make sure that they do not stifle innovation. So regulation should ensure that they support innovation and adoption. Regarding environmental factors, I'm going to be discussing the ESG concern that probably does not exist in Metaverse, but when it comes to NFT minting, does ESG pose a threat? And we'll also discuss events focusing on ESG that could drive better climate and environment. Finally, regarding the religious factors in Metaverse, I'll be discussing the religious view on Metaverse. Are they Sharia compliant? And the religious perspective on digital identity and new world order. And what is the view of Middle East so far as Metaverse is concerned? If you do have any points or would like to be a co-host for this particular session, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now guys, let's look at the top 5 Metaverse news from around the world. The biggest news, which was a bit surprising, was from Meta. A few days ago when they had the earnings report, Meta posted via Twitter that their Oculus Quest 2 headset is being adjusted and the price is increased by $100. Now, I do find this extremely strange, something which I discussed in yesterday's podcast as well. This week is a very crucial week for top companies in US because they have the earnings report. And Meta, when they submitted the report, they actually showed a loss of $2.8 billion. This loss is only for its Metaverse division. Is that the reason why they have increased the price of the Oculus Quest 2 headset? I don't know. Most likely that could be the reason why. When was the last time you actually saw the price increase of a product by $100? It does seem extremely strange. So the news is that the Oculus Quest 2 price has been increased by $100 from the 1st of August. The next news is about a virtual universe. DFC Group, the world's leading luxury travel retailer, is preparing to welcome customers into its new and very first ever virtual universe. They're going to be having the largest annual beauty campaign in the Metaverse. And the theme of that event is the future you. And it's going to be taking place in the Metaverse. And the theme is designed to help consumers get Metaverse ready. So absolutely massive news so far as the fashion industry is concerned. The next news is about a supermodel called Bella Hadid. I'm pretty much sure everyone knows who she is. So US supermodel Bella Hadid has stepped from the catwalk into the metaverse with the launch of a CY B3LLA, that is CY Bella, a collection of non-fungible tokens featuring artwork based on a 3D scans of her face and body. She mentioned this via her Instagram account, and she has over 53.8 million followers. Her message in that Instagram post was to encourage travel, community, growth, fantasy, and human interaction. And she also mentioned that the entire process was absolutely super fun. But she also said that the end result is really having exact facial expressions. So definitely a great move when you have 53.8 million people following your account. But she did mention this via her story. So if you go through her Instagram post, you might not necessarily see it. A bit more information about her NFT collection. Her collection comprises of 11,111 NFTs, and they were made in collaboration with the NFT minting platform called Rebase. So this is definitely going mainstream. The next news again is a mainstream news, that is MTV. An MTV Music Award is airing in August, and for the very first time, they will be introducing the Best Metaverse Performance category. This is so strange and yet beautiful at the same time. So a music award in Metaverse. MTV's Video Music Awards, airing in August, will introduce the new Best Metaverse Performance category, and the nominees are Ariana Grande, Blackpink, BTS, Charlie XCX, Justin Bieber, and 21 Pilots. Personally, I listen to heavy metal, so I'm not a fan of these bands, but my niece is completely obsessed with BTS and Blackpink, so hopefully one of these artists do actually win Best Metaverse Performance category. The new category, which defines a metaverse performance as a digital artist performing for a digital crowd within a digital space, shows that the virtual stage has become integral to the music industry. So metaverse is definitely gaining a lot of momentum. The final news is also to do with live concerts. A startup from Bristol has got funding for $4.5 million to bring live concerts to the metaverse, and the funding was led by Local Globe, 7% Ventures, and Deep Tech. It'll be really interesting to see all of these live concerts in metaverse with the virtual avatar, with virtual reality, with augmented reality, and with HoloLens, which Microsoft unveiled a couple of weeks ago. Live concert in the metaverse would be absolutely completely unreal. Let's talk about some top news from Dubai. The first news is about a racing club. So Dubai's racing club has announced that it will launch a one-of-a-kind NFT artwork collection in the horse racing industry, and that offers online and real-life benefits for owners. So if you are into horse racing, and horse racing is a massive thing in Dubai, them having an NFT does put a lot of eye for mainstream viewers. The next news is about Dubai Police, who is releasing the second NFT collection. And Dubai Police plans to release the second NFT collection during the GITEX event, and in total there will be 150 free digital assets. Now guys, in case if you do want to find out more information about the Dubai Police NFT, listen to my podcast. I believe it was on the 26th or 27th of this month, where I talked in detail on how you can go out and participate in getting this free NFT. The third news is about blockchain DXP, and something which I touched base upon earlier. I plan to have a standalone episode on PESTLER analysis, that is political, economical, social, technological, legal, environmental, and religious analysis on Metaverse. And I also talked about an event that is taking place on the 19th of August, and the event is called as Metaverse, the Hype Reality and New World Order. The fourth news is about a fire chat session with Sam Lai that I had last week. Sam Lai is the CEO and founder of Meta Incubator, and Sam has quite a lot of hands-on experience in Metaverse. He's a specialist so far as the technical aspects is concerned. In that podcast, Sam Lai shared his knowledge on the Dubai Metaverse Strategy, and what I really liked in that fire chat was he talked about the importance of storytelling. He talked about forget technology, forget about the handset, forget about the virtual reality, but storytelling is so critical, and I 100% agree to it. In that podcast, he also talked about the importance of getting everyone involved in the metaverse. That is so critical. Now what I'll be doing is I'll be releasing the episode tomorrow. It'll be roughly around 30 to 40 minutes, so please check that out. And also if you have any questions, you can also drop Sam an email, sam@metaincubator.com or info@metaincubator.com. The fifth and final news is about a bank in UAE called as the Commercial Bank International, which is also making its launch in the metaverse. So the UAE bank, Commercial Bank International, has launched a virtual location in Decentralized Metaverse. And a few weeks ago, we also talked about a bank from India that has also launched an office. And I think they started to do that in Sandbox. So it looks like a lot of the banking industries are definitely moving into Metaverse. I really am not sure how the banking industry would actually work in the Metaverse. Is it the customer service that they're going to be talking about? Or really, I'm not sure. But nonetheless, it just shows their willingness to adapt to new technology. So definitely great move. So that's all for today, guys, from the Metaverse Everything podcast. And in case if you guys do have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxp.com, or you can also send me an email to info@area2071.com. And you can also check out the website, that is www.blockchaindxp.com or area2071.com, that talks everything about Metaverse. And remember, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well. News that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and Metaverse. And if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a great weekend ahead. Bye-bye.